do something that's going to get you convicted of conspiracy.
Good morning. Awesome is here. Hashtag living the stream. We're just having a morning conversation at the morning feed, Sunday morning.
Gotten really.
So I'm going to hold the camera.
One of the offenses, I forget what it is.
We were talking about how the police arrested Eric Brandt, a worldwide activist known for, at the very least, hashtag Chalk America, going around writing fuck the police in chalk, and hashtag fuck the police, and hashtag Chalk America. So yeah, all right, anyways, he got arrested. Okay, it's early morning, and it's cold as fuck too, so let me put my gloves on as I'm holding the phone. So he got arrested by the police, and they pulled some bullshit, and I guess he didn't have an arrest warrant, and they're like, oh, we'll just figure it out, fuck you. Oh, wow.
People were thinking they were going to come get me today.
Alright, so yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know, but don't be that.
Okay, we're not going to take stuff, but who knows who has an arrest warrant, right? But, what do I say? Yeah, but anyways, tomorrow the city's doing a activism thing to hear about the homeless. That's at the library. It's on Monday. I don't know what time, but it's irrelevant to talk about the homeless when people don't understand the economy and have to understand that what do you got going on there? Like minimum wage doesn't cut it. So that's the thing. So basically they have legalized slavery and they're all like, oh, what do we do about it? And they just ignore reality where it's saying, well, if you understand that it costs this much to live and to be a person, this should be the minimum wage, right? Living wage. And they're like, oh no, if you can survive on beans, rice, ramen, and live like a sardine in a can, that's a living wage. And we're all out here saying, fuck that. And some of us have been arrested and targeted by the government for saying fuck being a slave and being left into nothingness. So we're going to go over here and talk to people and still hear about what
their
we got
bodies shut down
to
over
say.
gluten.
It is it's a real phenomenon, but it's also real.
All right, they're talking about dietary shit.
It's gone way.
Okay. It's odd that we don't have the police out here, because if they were, we could have gone and asked them questions. So yeah, we have one other person recording, and it's a real quiet morning. I think this is the Sunday before Christmas. What's up, yo? Doing good. This is the one before Christmas, right? Because the next one's Christmas? I believe so. Because today, because next...
Today's the 15th.
Yeah.
10 days until Christmas.
So then next 7 days from now is the Christmas one. Next week. All right, so yeah, we do have a Christmas one here. It's actually pretty quiet, right? We don't have too many people out and about. So Eric Brandt still got a area restriction.
He did? You know he was arrested the other day?
The police thing, the court.
Filming each other in conversation.
Yeah. So yeah.
You're just jealous because people want to hear what we have to say, Karen.
I guess basically they're just fucking with him and decided to arrest him without a warrant.
Yeah, they had applied for the warrant. Nobody had signed off on the warrant yet, so they just took it upon themselves to arrest him.
Oh, before he gets away, before some cop said, or before the judge said, you got to be fucking kidding me.
You know, the judge already said you could go. We were walking out of the courthouse.
Yeah.
We were leaving. They waited for him. They rolled in 10 deep.
Oh, wow. So isn't that like entrapment, extortion, racketeering, bad faith act stuff?
I'd say it's entrapment.
Well, not.
Hey man,
not
you
just...
hungry? Sure.
Well, here comes the bus. Oh, we're on big. I was that. There's one down there. Okay, yeah, there is one down there. Yeah, so anyways, I've been recording for about 5 minutes. There is a pig down there. They're usually not so far down, you know. Go figure, right? Well, the thing is, we're not too bad.
Hopefully they come in 15 strong on me. And they're gonna...
Oh, wait, that's right. They might come in and try to hem people up at the dissipation. When it all dissipates and people try to leave, the police come in and try to do an arrest. All right?
Good job!
So who knows what's going on? All right. So Yeah. Scrooge, not Scrooge, Grinch. Whoever that guy, or whoever can be considered the police, the redcoats. They're coming, maybe. Who knows? They're out and about.
Yeah, so they brought in a bunch of motorcycle cops, bicycle cops.
Alright. We're looking around.
That was fun going on the end of the, right behind the cops at the end of the parade. Everybody was laughing with the sign I had right behind them. Huh?
So, yeah. It is a real quiet morning. Not much to say, but besides, as I was saying earlier, corporate enslavement. If you want to see, like, the corporate enslavement, that is the Federal Reserve. That's where we're outside right now. Every Sunday, not every Sunday, but currently every Sundays, they're right outside the Federal Reserve. That's where we're having our meal. And then right here, right, you got that, you got that. You got the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay? See, they are part of an elite banking system that gets $215 every hour somebody goes to work. And then that elite banking system loans it out to a bank, such as this bank here, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve then loans it out to a government, such as the United States. And then we get to play with it, all right? And allegedly, all of this is how we exist, because somehow we get to play with corporate, legalized monopoly money all right there. Now, if you look at the current set of money, they have different colors on them. See if those go along with monopoly money. Close enough. They might be off a little. But, anyways, so we used to have 17 minutes in our Bill of Rights, at least I think. Who the fuck knows? But, see, there's a camera right there. You want to know what? It'd be nice to go out and play with that. So, yeah, that might be occurring soon on the new year. We might be getting some live broadcast feed of a whole bunch of stuff, if I know what I'm doing. What are they going to do? Shut down the internet? Because that'd be pretty legit, right? All you got to do is just figure out how to do like a constant lock to like just like auto spring like a YouTube channel, 1,000 of them. So all you have to do is hack into YouTube and like every camera you can and just lock on to each other and somehow do it with the internet. So that way, the only way they can turn it off is by turning off the internet, right? By turning off YouTube and the camera. So, on another note, that's always something to go out and try to play with and do. All of this is regulated that each hour we go to work, there's $215 an hour put into a bank because of gold standard in an edict. We don't teach the gold standard in an edict. But anyways, I keep saying that, but anyways, there's a pigeon right there, right? And that's what the government thinks we should be, and the police thinks we should be. We should just be little pigeons eating off the ground. And we shouldn't have a living or a life, and they should make all the money, and they should have all the luxury. And even though they produce nothing for reality, and they eat off our paychecks, and they're not a part of anything capitalist in a capitalist society, they, through them, get more than we do. They get insurance, they get benefits, and they always get discounts. Oh, you work for the government, you get a discount. Oh, you do this, you get a discount. You get a discount. Well, fuck you in your discount. That's fascism. That's an aristocratic way of life that we fought against. And that's why we all are fucking enslaved, and these guys are all degenerate pieces of shit who eat off our paycheck, like parasitic fucking niggers breathe. I say the N-word a lot in reference to the government, due to the fact that the government says the N-word a lot in reference to me, especially in the courtroom. If you have any questions, please call or contact Judge William J. Martinez of the 10th District, United States of America, also known as the 10th District of Colorado, or it might be District of Colorado 10th District. They always put that in there. So anyways, good old camera up there. We're out here on the Federal Reserve saying fuck you to the government. And yeah, I just gave a little shout out to a federal judge saying, if you ever want to contact the federal judge that called me a nigger, just please contact William J. Martinez of the District of Colorado. All right. Besides that, we got the Federal Reserve, who's just right here. They print money out of nowhere, and somehow it is regulated when it is actually not. You cannot regulate debt. That one used to say, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private, and is redeemable in lawful money at the United States Treasury or at any Federal Reserve Bank. It says it over, like, here. All that. Anyways, it used to say other stuff before that, and then other stuff before that. And then they just kept legally changing it where they didn't have to make it anything because you don't have to exchange it for nothing. Because remember, that whole exchange of lawful blah 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 blah, that means now it doesn't mean shit, but back in the day it can mean like, hey, on this regulation of hour of this and this, if I do this and this is how much I get. So it means a living wage. That's what used to be called an earned wage or a true wage in accordance with the gold standard and edict, which is $215. So if you are an indentured servant, you get the $200 and the other $15 goes to your indenturedness, whatever you owe. Yeah, I know I made that sound not as easy and simple and probably sounded retarded. Okay, but all these buildings up here, these corporations by law have to make $215 an hour every hour somebody shows up to work. You know, I keep talking about in the Ford Motor Company because they're a real good, easy example to understand how that works. You have workers who show up and they start out at $60 an hour. All right, and some of them get up to $120 an hour. And they're like, hey, we want more, we want more, we want this, we want that. Because why? Because these people who aren't working, in a select group of them, are actually making billions. And the workers know what's up, and that's why they strike. And so, by law, a corporation, such as the Ford Motor Corporation, has to make $215 an hour. And then, they only pay their employees less than that. So every time an employee shows up to work, they gotta make $215 an hour, plus cover expenses. Well, first expenses, then the $215, and then the money for investors. Let's see if we can see my reflection right there. But anyways, I don't know, I'd have to take off my glove. So, their employees only get paid, let's say $60 an hour. Or easy math, let's say their employees only get paid $115 an hour, which some of their high-ranking employees, that's how much they make. Alright, I don't know if I can see my reflection. There we go, I can see my reflection in there. Okay, so anyways, they only pay him $115, so that leaves $100 an hour left over. So you times that by 1 million hours of all their employees. Employees with like 100 of them a day, working 10 hours a day, that's 1,000. 1,000 times 100 is 100,000. You can do easy fucking math, all right? And that's how they make their fucking billions, okay? So then they go and they keep it. It doesn't go to the investors. So that's how you have the board of directors who are basically the Ford Motor Company saying, hey, we'll make $1 a year in our contract, and we'll make in a bonus, make all that bonus, because bonus is coming from the legal regulation by law. Corporates have to make that $215 an hour. And that right there comes from the banking law. So that way the banks can do their little regulation on international trade properly. It all trickles down, and it's all based on $215 an hour. So that right there puts it in perspective where it's like, oh, okay, so if we're all supposed to get $215 an hour, whether or not we work at Rock Bottom, The Loft, Verizon, ATM, Belco, Starbucks Coffee, right, there's a real good one, the Marriott, you know, and we can keep going from AT&T to Juice Kitchen to Woody Creek to Tokyo Joe's to right over there's Corner Bakery, and everywhere you work, from Walmart to every gas station, everywhere that basically has fucking any type of corporate anything anywhere in America that can do fucking trade, employ someone, and buy something legally and sell it legally. Yeah, all that's got to be licensed, regulated. All that's got to fucking be real. Oh, I gotta zoom out. I forgot to zoom out. Yeah, so think about it. You got the corn bakery all over there, and then over there you got your Tokyo Joe's, your juice kitchen. Those motherfuckers, they're not even making $30 an hour. They're not, dude, $37.50. That's a minimum for like a living wage. And people are like, oh, you're outrageous. And I'm like, no, dude, that's a fucking minimum wage. And people are like, oh, you need a degree. I'm like, no, I don't. Think about it. Why do I need a degree to make less than what reality is regulated at? So somebody who allegedly has a degree or not, who doesn't even use it, can sit there and make all this money off of people who are working. That's called extortion, racketeering. That's what Americans fought against. But somehow this is what we get. We get streets covered in homeless people. Why? Because we don't have any honorable people or anything people at all who give a fuck. Because we're not allowed to give a fuck. We're only allowed to hate and be slaves. And if not, we go to prison. Because that's what the government enforces upon us. The government's not enforcing upon us the $215 that we earn minimum in the regulated existence of reality. They're not even forcing upon us what can be considered a slave wage that can allow one slave to exist on their own with the minute meniscus of being recognized as a Christian or having a soul. They go below that and say, oh no, you get nothing. If it takes a minimum of $40 or $50 an hour to fucking live, and we all know, but we're not going to acknowledge it, we can acknowledge that instead of having a soul and being a person, we can just feed the government and be parasitic demons and have no soul and no love. And then guess what? We can all eat ramen, or we can all go to prison while the government just rapes and murders children. Oh, wow. Speaking of rape and murder children, look who shows up. Of course, I know, transit police, a corporate police that again enforces to make sure that we don't make our gold standard and edict and $215 an hour, because there's nothing to look forward to, because we allow our government and these corporations known as the Federal Reserve just to hate through reality and destroy love for innocent children and destroy honor and destroy everything that America stands for. Because bam, look how there's an American flag right there and nobody gives a fuck, because bam, what is this? This isn't America. This is a foreign corporation that has the word federal in it, and now people think it's part of America and our federal government, and nobody gives a fuck or understands. And the way I'm looking at it is, if there were real Americans, like, where's our military at? Isn't our military supposed to bomb this shit? And I'm like, holy fuck. We have laws to protect us from these foreign invaders, and right there, they're claiming our flag. And you get retards who are like, oh, if there's a gold fringe on the flag, it means this. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter what fucking color it is or what it looks like. If you can acknowledge or say, hey, that's supposed to be the American flag, that's supposed to be fuck you to oppression, fuck you to the government, and it's pure obedience to the fucking Constitution, which right there, real simple, limits the government in everything, all right? Think about it. The government doesn't have rights. It doesn't have rights to have a gun. It does have the right to have a military, which they do not have the right to be in control of. The military is controlled by the Constitution. The Constitution is in control of the military. That's what that is. But nobody gives a fuck. All right. Anyway, so our 20 tirade right here. So, look at like the Ford Motor Corporation and all these other places, and all these corporations from AT&T to Walmart to everything. Look, Wells Fargo, Chase, Western, all these spots right here that have something to advertise on the 16th Street Mall, each and every one of them, they're getting, even Starbucks right there, fucking everywhere, right? Yeah, that corporation is making $215 an hour minimum for every hour every employee shows up, right? And look at them employees. They're not even starting out at fucking $20 an hour. They're not even starting out at slave wage of $37.50 an hour. And honestly, that's fucking pathetic. And people are like, what? You think you're allowed to live as a person? Oh, what? You can live in trash and you can eat trash. How dare you think you're allowed to have a soul and be a Christian or be an American? Oh, you have to feed the government. And that's all they are with their corporations. And so they can eat a fucking dick. Honestly. So, and they pay their employees nothing, and their executives get billions of dollars, and we still have to go to work. And if we don't do it, ultimately the police will show up, take our children, and talk about how our children are going to schools and they're not paying for it. Dude, all police and all government, everything they exist, they're not paying for. I am and everyone else who has a real fucking job, who's not the government and didn't get their whole start off the government. Look how many people in the government are part of stocks and corporations. No, that's not theirs. What theirs is a fucking shit in a fucking shit house. The government has earned to be drowned in a fucking outhouse. That's what they can eat and sleep, all right? And those who believe in government too, because all those people who think that innocent people should be robbed and called it taxes and that it should be okay, so that way some parasite can smile and reproduce other parasites that smile? Nah, fuck that. I'm white. I'm an American. I'm a Christian. I have a fucking soul and I obey the Constitution. And you want to know what? Fuck those fucking parasitic nothing waste products, all right? Because the angels said them, their government, and those who believe in them and their government are hated by God and are considered less than monkey, nigger, demon, pig, faggot. So they can eat a fucking dick, as they think we should make less than fucking an honorable wage and live as slaves, as they regulate everything at $215 an hour, and we can even fucking make a fucking wage where we can just live on our own, where we have to fucking slave around and be proud of fucking trinkets that the government can just take whenever they want and say, oh, hey, how did you earn this? How did you earn that? And I'm like, fuck you, you fucking pig-ass nigger. How did you fucking earn breath as a fucking race-trading parasite supporting fucking corporations who enslave all, and a government who just lets it go by and not giving a fuck? And it's right here at the Federal Reserve. Here we are. We're at 16th and Curtis in Denver, Colorado, and we can find a beacon of dark evil in all its oppression, but the government will call it hope and regulation. And all it is fucking hatred and deception and enslavement of every innocent child and everything that ever felt warmth and a caress and had a soul and every belief in the Constitution. It's right here in its full manifestation and destruction of everything that every innocent child ever smiled for. It even has a Christmas wreath. Oh, isn't that sweet? Look at that Christmas wreath right next to the American flag, right in front of the Federal Reserve. And all it stands for is hatred against every race, every child, everything that could be innocent and warm and have a soul. And who lets it? The government and their police. Oh, yes. There it all is in its glory. It's glorious fucking putrid outhouse. That's all it is. They can just go drown in an outhouse, but no, they have to spread it in the streets and infest it. They put it in the schools and say, oh, hey, kids, look at this. Isn't it great? Yep, there it fucking is. And it's right there, a $10,000 bill. Holy shit. Look at that. That used to be when we used to make $215 an hour. That's 2 weeks, right? You get $1,000 a day. You would work 5 hours a day and you make $1,000, right? Now look at that. Look at fucking that. That's 2 weeks' wage right fucking there. And they say inflation. No, it's not inflation. It's deflation. It's manipulation. That's what it is. It's pure manipulation. That right there. Think about it. In 1934, it says it right there. You can read it. Oh, almost fell over. 1934, $10,000. Think about that on the real. America, 1934, $10,000. That's 2 weeks' wage right there. That's a paycheck. And that's how it normally used to be. That was normal. Think about it. $100 bill. Well, those things were small. We used to have a lot of commerce and trade, all right? And we used to do a lot of tipping and stuff like that. So there's always this extra money that would be going on that most people don't realize anymore. And we just don't have it. So think about that. It's 1934. Remember the roaring 20s? All right? And we hit the Great Depression. And so then that happened, and people are like, oh no, that can't be worth that much. And I'm like, yeah, see, what people don't realize about the Great Depression is from the Roaring 20s was during the World War I, and that's when the Federal Reserve took hold, all right? So when you think about it right there, we don't understand how much we're supposed to get, because you could be like, oh, well, you said 2 weeks' wage, look at the inflation rate. And I'm like, all right, well, remember, it's 2 weeks' wage based on $215 an hour. Okay, that isn't 2 weeks' wage based on $50 an hour, a living wage. I'm saying 2 weeks' wage based upon an American true value wage, not an aristocratic, what would you call that, corporate European aristocratic slave wage. all right, which we have going on in America, which is enforced by our current political and law enforcement system, which is really odd because our law enforcement system isn't a part of our judicial branch, it's a part of our executive, and I don't think that's allowed unless it's specifically the president doing things. Everything else has to be done by our actual legal stuff, not our legislation, not our Congress. It has to be done by our judicial. That's who we are as Americans. Nobody gives a fuck. But bam, you see that? 1934, $10,000. American 2000, 1934, $10,000. That's 2 weeks' wage right there. That's what that is. And they're showing it off in front of us, and nobody realizes it. They're advertising our enslavement, and they have this money museum. And now think about it. Think about if like you were such a piece of shit and you wanted to advertise how you economically enslaved someone and degraded them through economic manipulation and control me. See a guided experience. The door's that way. That's what that is. You get a guided experience on economic enslavement of people in America and people throughout reality. So, all that good stuff right there, right? That yum, 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 num, 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 slavery. The $10,000 2-week paycheck is right there. And that's how much we used to make. And you want to know what? Land was cheap. The thing was, certain goods were kind of expensive, but they were different, all right? Think about how like a horse right now is the same price it was throughout time. Certain guns right now, the same price throughout time. Think about it, all right? Isn't that odd? It used to cost you like $300 for a gun. It used to cost you $600 for a gun. All throughout America. But the thing is, they didn't change the value of a gun. They changed the value of the money to buy the gun. It's still based on the gold standard in the edict. Horse is the same way, right? Back in the day, it was the same thing. This, and this. So now it's just some deflation, which is actually manipulation, which they call inflation. So, yep, there's all that right here. It's all right there, you know? And these people are probably like, yeah, we don't want you to have a gun. And then it's like, yeah, you also don't want me to have a soul either. You just want to eat, and eat, and hate, and hate. And let no child smile. Let no child be warmth. Let no child have a soul. Just so you can eat and people can work and have nothing. Think about it. Your $1 bottle of water is regulated at $215 an hour. It costs $1 based on everyone else who works in reality getting $215 an hour. You work in Secor, that's what national trade is. And it's all right here pressing us. And then they say the problem is homelessness. And I'm like, no, the problem is you're not paying us what reality regulates. If my home is regulated that I make $215 an hour minimum, how am I supposed to live in a home if I don't make $215 an hour minimum? Then you say, oh, hey, okay, I will chop your rate down 1/5. So from $200 to 1/5, oh my God, I now make $40 an hour, but I still need 5 other people to live there and pay. So that way one home, which is supposed to be supported 1%, can now be supported by 5 people. Holy shit. That is extortion. That is racketeering. That is manipulation. It's treason. That is fucking hatred against everything. And guess what? It's all enforced by the government and the police and these corporations. And they're just loving it and eating it and hating all of us. And there's nothing we can do about it. And they're like, oh, it's Christmas time. Have some Christmas cheer. And I'm like, oh, it's Christmas time. Have some Christmas, like, wrathing purification all over your fucking face. Right? Oh, these fucking demons are everywhere. And their little Federal Reserve branch and their little Federal Reserve monopoly money, which we can't say no to, which all they do is eat, and hate, and hate. And if we got a problem with it, they'll just send their child protection services, or they'll fucking say, oh, you can't get a job here because you can't be insured, blah, 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 blah. Yep, all that good stuff. So, alrighty. We're about a half hour and 2 minutes in, a half hour, 30 minutes, 35 seconds. And we're still out here doing our thing. And you can just see all these buildings. They're just going up, up, and up, dude. And I'm like, wow. How can we allow this if they're not even going to pay like a living wage? Because remember, everyone building that building right there is supposed to be getting paid $200 an hour, right? Minimum. I bet that motherfucker's not even making 20. That's some bullshit. But hey, what do we have? We have a government that rapes and murders children. We have police that rape and murder John Benet Ramsey in her own home. And then we have these corporations like Comcast Business, Beyond Fast, right? And the 16th Street Mail Ride. RTD, rape, treason, demon. I remember one night I saw him trafficking children on a fucking, what was that, the W line, and I called it in, and then RTD is like, oh, how are we supposed to keep track of our own fucking light rails on a fucking track? And I was like, well, Google can give me live access. You have live feed from the fucking cameras, you motherfuckers. And they're like, oh, how are we supposed to know that these children that are being kidnapped and bound and drugged on a fucking RTD fucking light rail that are being picked on camera? Oh, how's that supposed to cause a red flag? It's not even a fucking in-service train, right? But they're selling kids off of it. Oh, whatever. Oh, yeah, y'all can minimum wage and be happy that you can be slaves and there can be 8 of you, 5 of you. You can just have a roommate instead of having your own home, right? Right? You can pay rent. You don't need a home. You can just have a roommate. And that's all you need. Nothing. So that's basically it, right? You get nothing. And then you can go to Starbucks right there. Starbucks coffee with their employees. They're slaves, but they'll serve you coffee, right? Or you can go to the loft and buy clothing where the employees are slaves, but you can buy clothing. You can go to Rock Bottom and buy food, but the employees are slaves, but you can buy food. Same with Tokyo Joe's and Juice Kitchen. And guess what? It's a good, nice little half-hour rant. I'm going to call it hashtag amazing awesomeness. Live in the stream, right? All right, peace, y'all. Fuck you, Federal Reserve. Fuck government.